Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We have bellied up on this second week of January, talking about the one thing that breaks our equipment at all times on this show. It never fails. But, you know, there's something to be said when your guest is so famous that celebrities even sing her name. So here we go real quick. Look, you think I'm kidding? Watch. And see, we can't let you go either, Candi. So joining us all the way from the place where I don't care who you are, they would give Jesus a speeding ticket. It's Miss Candi Howard. Where's my...
How are you?
Hi, Miss Candi Howard. How are you?
Doing well. No speeding tickets today.
I'm telling you, like we were talking about it before the show, folks. If you've ever driven through Virginia, I promise you're getting a speeding ticket. There is nothing you can do about it. It's, again, only place I've ever been in my life. As a Marine, I was like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, I'm a Marine. They're like, that's nice. Here's your ticket. I'm like, you bitch.
Same thing. I'm a registered nurse, had worked, never had a ticket, ever. Worked 18 hours on a shift, barely over the speed limit. They're like, nope, don't care. Here you go. Here's a ticket. I'm like, really? We're supposed to be friends. This is not how this goes.
That's not how this works. And that's going to be an interesting question as we get into this all today, folks. We're talking about paranormal. And look, like I said, we're going to find out what goes bump in the night. And Candi's going to help us out with all those things. But before we get too far into all that, let's go ahead real quick and get some house cleaning done. As always, I see you're in Virginia. Are you a Deadskins fan?
No.
All right, what's your team?
I don't do teams.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Well, either way,
roller derby. Does that count?
I used to watch roller derby, like the 80s, 90s version of roller derby when it was on TV, and they tried to tell you there was an alligator in the middle of the rink. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, we're old now. That's just saying how old we are.
We are. Yeah.
So, all righty, folks. So real quick, over my right shoulder is the big board for sticker and a cause. Maybe you have a paranormal team, a podcast, a band. I don't care what it is. You can reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Even our email is theabovethebarpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you got going on. I'll tell you where to send it all to. Kenny, you're already getting people yelling for you. They're all popping up here. I'll tell you where to send the sticker to, and we'll get you read about here on the air live. Other side to that is now, Candi.
Yeah.
We got to talk about our sponsors for a minute. Our sponsors are Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. Budget Blinds is the nation's largest custom window treatment company. And for the month of January, their big thing is 18 months, up to 18 months of interest-free financing on window treatments. Have you ever had custom window treatments?
I have not actually, but that's nice.
For a minute, that people can talk about it. This isn't Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target. Target is French for Kmart. If you didn't know that, it's how you say it. It's like I'm at Target. No, Nate, we do not need haunted blinds. That's what, we'll talk about it in a minute. That is the scariest part of any of those movies to me, when they do horror movies and there's nothing happening and you watch the drapery just kind of go like this and just do that little wave thing. I am absolutely done at that point. What's up, Corey? And I'm going to read all your hellos here in a second, give everybody a chance. But Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. If you're up in this area, let them know you're there to belly up to the bar and you want to get your windows taken care of. And they're going to take good care of you, maybe give you even a little bit of an extra discount. So that's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. So real quick, here we go. Chad, another Virginia other than West Virginia. Yep. And then the Diana Lenders is telling you hello.
Hi, Diana.
Amara Rain. I like your name, Amara Rain. I like it. Digging it. She says hello, and she even said, I love Candy." Look,
Aw, thank you. I
we
love
played her
you.
song. Jean Burgess says hello. We got Brett Fonger. I hope I'm saying it right, Brett. He says hello. Amara's all about you. Nate says he needs haunted blinds. He can keep them. Corey, what's up, brother? Is another one of my friends, another Marine. And then
Hey, Meg.
Megan, she says hello. So look, we got all your hellos out. Like everybody's already showing up. So you know, like you're bringing you're bringing the spirit out. Get it? Like that.
Those haunted blinds. Have you ever been on an investigation where, as you're doing anything, whether you're doing an EVP session, something like that, and the blinds start moving next to you? That's interesting.
Now, what's EVP?
Okay, so
folks
that
have no idea what that is.
Okay, so when you're running a recorder, you're sitting in a quiet room. You're running a digital recorder, or an old school tape recorder works too. So it's an electronic voice phenomenon. So you don't hear it with your ears, you only hear it on playback. So you're talking out loud to whatever might be there. You're going to ask a question and pause. And you're waiting to see if something answers that question back.
Okay.
Then you play the recording back.
Is that when you leave the house?
You can leave the house.
When it answers, you're supposed to leave. You know
No,
that, right?
You keep going. You keep going because then you want to see what else you can get. You keep poking. Keep poking. That's how you get the good stuff.
So you've been, and to my left, for folks that are like, why does he keep looking to his left? I have another computer screen over here, and I'm just going over your bio. So 2002 to 2020, founder/leader of Investigators at Residential Rescue Paranormal.
Yes.
And then 2020, 2023, lead investigator and educator at Research Society of Virginia Paranormal, 13 Paranormal.
Yes.
2021 to 2023, multifaceted lead at Cross Country Paranormal. And then 2021, investigate the 2023, investigator and co-designer at Haunted Travels Paranormal.
Yes.
And now we have investigator since 2023, investigator and writer at Spirit Realm Network. And then you were telling me before the show, and we'll run it right now, you got a new show coming on spiritrealm.net, Supernatural Sirens.
Yes.
So you've been doing this for a minute. Now, here's what I'm curious. So this is one of those things. Like I think anyone who doesn't believe they've had some kind of an experience, you've either just lied to yourself and you're just trying to justify it as, gas bubbles. You know what I mean? It couldn't have been what I think it is. But how far back does the paranormal experience and the paranormal things of that nature go for you in your life?
So for me, I'm an indigenous person. So I'm Navajo and Cherokee. So I'm used to that my whole life. But the first most vivid thing that I can ever remember was actually seeing my great-grandfather when I was about 5 years old. And he had actually passed away when I was 2. But as a young child, I had no idea that it wasn't a real person. I just thought, okay, well, there's, an older gentleman standing in the field in bib overalls, an old cap, and a button-up shirt, just waving with a big smile. I thought it was just a person, so I go tell my grandmother and my mother. I'm like really excited that there's somebody standing out by the smokehouse. And she got really teary-eyed, my grandmother did, and because I told her who he looked like, and that was her father.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Like still not, I mean, you're a little one at that point. It's just not dawning on you.
Yeah. So to me, I'm like, oh, okay, that's just, hi, it was nothing unusual. And I've always had, I guess, the ability to see things. I never questioned it. It's just part of who I am. And I think everyone has that ability, especially children. Watch children.
Absolutely.
You don't shut it off until you're told, no, you shouldn't do that.
Right. Or you're making that up. Stop making that Or, I also think that there is a cultural side to it. Like if your culture that you're brought up in
Yeah.
is very quick to shut it down, you're more like you talk about being Native American,
Mhm.
you know, that's a culture that we would traditionally say they're very, very uh America chasing everybody back over to Facebook. Thanks, Amara. She's like, I went to YouTube. You all came here. Uh Megan was on Twitch. Well, I appreciate y'all everywhere. So and look, hey folks, if you're finding me through Candi or Candi through me, real quick, it might sound cliche, but hitting that like, hitting that heart, sharing this out to all your friends in your network, that's how her message gets out. That's how my message gets out. Giving that follow to these things. As cliche as it sounds, it's how these things work. But back to what I was saying, I think that cultures really drive that. If you're in a culture that says that, hey, you this is what we believe, this is what we see, this is what we think's happening, well, you're going to feel the same way, and it's going to be fostered, and it's also going to be almost welcomed, I guess is the best term. Did you feel
Yeah.
like when you were growing up and these things were happening and you were telling someone, did it feel welcomed?
So part of my family, yes. Because I'm mixed race. My mom's side is mostly white. My dad's side is not. So mom's side is very much no, 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 you can't, no, that's bad. It's like stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la. It doesn't exist. But it's one of those that when it's right in her face and she can't ignore it, then she'll accept it. But she never wanted to foster it.
Gotcha.
But it's so I kind of lived in a dual world. So you learn to keep quiet in some respects. So you learned when to keep your mouth shut. But I had one auntie that I could always tell her, and she
She was all
always
about
she was all about it. She was like, she was my mother's sister, and she was like, no, 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 what'd you see? What'd you see? What'd you hear? And when Ghostbusters came out when I was a kid, I was hooked. I had a backpack and a stick that was my proton pack. And I had a stick and I would go around, and I was ghost hunting. And, it was, the obsession was very young and stayed forever because I wanted to know what was there, what's really on the other side.
That's wild to me because I think, again, I had some experiences as a kid and whatnot, but was there ever a time, so you're growing up, you're doing this, you're living between two worlds for this part of your life? What about when you got into like high school and it's very clicky, kids want to talk, kids want to run their face, and that first person and it had to have happened. I'm curious if it happened. That first person you told, hey, this is my experience, and you thought they were cool with it, and then did it get one of those situations like out of an 80s movie where like, I see dead people, and they're like, she's crazy. Like
Yeah.
anything, like, did you experience that?
Oh, yes. So that started in middle school. Actually, fifth grade, I was labeled a Satanist. I was labeled a weirdo. Oh, yeah. So,
Oh,
before we had the emos and stuff like that, I was the weirdo goth kid. So I learned very early on to not care what anybody else thought. I was going to believe and do what I felt was right with me. And so I just started to say, it doesn't matter what you think. I know what I know. And I trust in what I see and what I believe to be true. And they hated me for it, hated me. But I learned probably about high school to not let it bother me, to really not let it get under my skin. And they left me alone. Then suddenly I was the scary Elvira chick. Yeah, I'm 5 foot tall, like
how tall are you?
5 foot.
Oh, I thought you said you're 6 foot. I was like, damn.
No, I'm 5 foot tall, but I'm like, you know what? I'm fiery and I'm closer to hell. Come at me, bro. Like, yeah.
And if you didn't know it when you were going like this is a new feature in, I think, see, it's not going to do it for me in Facebook or one of them.
Mhm.
If you go like this, it'll give you it's supposed to give a thumbs up. And if you go like this, yours is doing it. Do 2 thumbs. It should give you fireworks at some point. Let's see if you get the fireworks. It's not going to do it.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
you're not gonna- It's but like a buddy of mine was doing a show and he's like this, and all of a sudden, see, I got the thumbs up.
Oh, there you
Going like this, and all of a sudden fireworks were popping up behind him. There you go. You got it. See, you got the fireworks. So that's a new feature. Don't ask me why it does that. But we're getting some stuff like this. Memphis 3 was around those. What's Memphis 3?
It was okay. So that was the West Memphis 3. It was a famous kind of murder case. I'm big into true crime and all that good stuff too. But
why do you women do this to yourselves? Why?
so,
why? I need to answer that too.
I'm very scientifically grounded too. Being a nurse, I'm also have a degree in psychology. So I look at everything paranormal investigation too. I come at it from a scientific standpoint as well as a spiritual standpoint. So when I go into an investigation, I go into it scientifically based.
Okay.
So I try to debunk everything. I try to find a rational, logical reason for whatever's going on. And then if I can't explain it scientifically, and then I'm left with whatever else, then I can't explain it scientifically with what we know in the here and now. So there has to be some kind of spiritual or otherworldly explanation.
Jean says you found dead people at her house.
I did.
Did you have to call the police for the under the, like, did you have to dig them up or anything? Like, Jean?
No. So where she lives used to be a battlefield.
Oh, wow.
I could see soldiers walking through her yard and a lady in a dress looking for someone that kind of paces back and forth.
So when you say you see them, so I think the Hollywood perception is that it's either this blue hue floating through, or it's this, solid state hard light type situation.
Yeah.
Where and folks, excuse me if I belch. I've got a little stomach bug and I'm fighting it off. That's why I don't have bourbon on me. I have ginger ale. But like, what is that visually like? Because like I said, I think Hollywood tells us this is what it looks like, and that's what we all expect. But what is it for you?
So for me, I see a couple of different things. Sometimes it's kind of a shadow, almost like a faint shadow form. Other times I might get like a flash, like a quick flash of an image, like when you take a Polaroid picture, really, and you kind of get that very quick flash of an image that's not fully developed. I'll see that.
Okay.
But that's all I see. And it's like it'll come really quickly and then it's gone.
So how do you so I guess like in a battlefield situation,
I'll hear it.
Okay. That's what's going to be my next thing is like how do you validate, like, oh, these must be military, these must have been a battlefield here, how do you validate that?
You go back through historical records. A lot of times if you go to like a local town historian, go to old land records, Register of Deeds has a lot of stuff. You can find that information very readily. A lot of times too, you can actually go just on Google anymore, type in the locality of somewhere, in your GPS coordinates, and pull up tons of information on a location.
Yeah, see, I find it absolutely fascinating. My one son, he's 14. He introduced me, and I'm curious if you've ever tried this one. I don't know the name of the process. It was a particular process where they had the gentleman, young kids, they're like in their 20s, and what they do is they sit down, eyes are completely blocked, all sensory stuff is taken away. What's it called?
Gonsfeld experiment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this, and part of me wants to throw the bullshit flag, because it's like, hold on. If you're that out of it and the only thing you can hear is whatever that device is running through those headphones, and the guy's like, who is this? Stan,
Mm-hmm.
blue, and like he's yelling out things, and the guy's asking questions associated with it. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
so have you ever done this?
Yes. I've
What's
done.
that like?
So it's incredible because we actually blind it, so that you ensure that so
Right.
we put the person asking the questions in another room. So there is no way that you can hear what question is being asked. So you can be certain that there's no way that it's being contaminated. Excuse me. So that way, whatever is being picked up cannot possibly be that the person with the headphones on subconsciously some way is picking up just a little bit of what's being heard and regurgitating it.
It's
crazy.
See, it gives me chills. Every Diane says it's amazing to watch. Amira says, "Oh my God, we talked about this today," and then Megan says, "That's my favorite." When I watched it, it was very incredible because, like I said, if in my head I'm like, if this is legit, like this is incredible to pick up on. Now, other side of the coin, you got to play devil's advocate for all things. Has anyone ever said, "Oh my God, Candy, I need you to come out. My house is haunted. I think I got a boogeyman in my closet." And then all of a sudden you're like, now listen to me, folks. I'm going to tell you something. I told you, shit always happens in my house, right? Do you see my TV is on?
Uh-huh.
And it's loading Spotify music right now.
Yes.
There are the remotes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the remotes anywhere near me. I did not turn that TV on.
However,
Fucking Nate. Blaming you, Nate.
so there is a possible logical explanation for why that is happening.
I'll take it.
So televisions and things like that the remotes actually run off of frequencies. That's how a little red light transmits over to the television.
Okay.
So you could actually have someone with a similar remote nearby or something with a similar frequency going by in a vehicle nearby your house, and that's what's setting off the television.
Well, let's hope that's it. The tough part is I have a 400-foot driveway. This is in the basement in the back of the house.
Mm-hmm. And you're surrounded by thick brick walls.
Yeah. Brick walls, dirt. So yeah, no, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
But
this is the kind of thing that I do when I go in somewhere. Like I will look for any other explanation,
right.
And if I explain it away,
Well, that was that, and that's where I was going with this question was, have you ever had a situation where somebody, again, like I said, something's going bump in the middle of the night in my house, this, that, and the other, and then you go in and you're like, yeah, stop playing with the laser beam with the cat, and that won't happen. You're like anything, like, have you had experiences like that?
I have. I've had most of the time. It's something that's very easily explained away. And 9 times out of 10, people are just thankful to know that they're okay. I started my paranormal career, I guess, helping people in their homes. I never went to, kind of a big building, until 2020. It was just going to people's homes and helping them in their homes. And I've only had a handful of cases that people were angry because I'm like, you don't have a haunting. There's nothing,
there.
I can find. Yeah. And sometimes people are not happy that you don't find anything. Because they want something there. They want the fame, I guess.
What does Gene mean? Oh, there we go. What does Gene mean by this? Sometimes people create their own spirits.
Okay, so you can create, you can manifest energy with your own mind. Teenagers are notorious for this with poltergeists. Way back, like in the 70s, 80s, actually even before that, but the poltergeist phenomenon really kicked up in the 70s and 80s, especially around teenagers. You have tremendous amounts of energy that they're putting out, don't even realize it, raging hormones, and they're either angry or they're crazy happy or they're slamming doors. Well, they can inadvertently push all of that energy out and create opening and closing doors by themselves, pots and pans flinging around. They don't mean to, it just happens, and they don't even know that they're doing it. It's completely subconscious. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. Manifestation is an incredibly powerful thing. It's channeling energy. Energy doesn't, it's not created nor destroyed. It just changes form. And that's just basic science.
All right. What does Amara mean by lady on the TikTok?
I have no idea.
No idea. She said something about coughs attack, coughs.
Oh, I know what she's talking about. Yeah, there is someone that is still on TikTok currently with a pretty large account that talks about her haunting. I have been to that home. There is nothing there. Unfortunately, this person has some pretty severe psychological issues and needs help. I talked to the doctors. I mean, really went deep into this one to try and help this person, but they don't want help. They want fame.
God.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
I mean, you've been doing this. I mean, again, we're talking, and folks, if you want to see some of the stuff that Candi's got going on, make sure you're checking out spiritrealm.net. And the new one is Supernatural Sirens. But when did you start getting recognized outside of your immediate community? You know, like I said, we've got a bunch of people watch you now. We know the power of social media and putting things out. But prior to social media, was it still kind of localized here, or were you traveling more and getting reached out to by people around the area?
So I was actually in North Carolina. I came to Virginia in 2016.
Okay.
So before that, it was just word of mouth in North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Georgia. It was just word of mouth. I did not advertise. Never did. So it was just simply, if someone needed help, it was word of mouth of, I didn't even have a website. Business
I told
card.
you, I didn't do anything. And
I saw that. Nathan, what did you do?
People think I'm messing with them when I tell them
He did something.
that look, no one has control of any of my equipment but
No.
me.
Like,
it's all in front of me. People think I'm full of shit when I'm like, every time we have somebody on talking about paranormal, my stuff starts going all cattywampus, and I start having TV kicks on instantaneously. I get bumped out of here. I'm like, and what were we talking about? Like, oh, trying to help this person out. When did you get recognized? Here, you're recognized now. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Suddenly I see my big old head on the screen like, how you doing?
Oh my, we need to invest. Look, so Gene, I'll give you my story. So since Gene brought it up, I'll give you my story, Gene. I have my entire life always had something happening around me, from being a little guy. I've told the story on the air before. Do you remember those racetracks that you pulled the trigger and the car would go zipping around?
Yeah. Yes.
So I was a little guy, and I had one of those, and my father had put in a bedroom. It filled the whole bedroom up. I had that. I had my G.I. Joes on there. I couldn't have been older than 5 years old, maybe 6 at the oldest. And went down, had footy PJs on, put it that way.
Yeah.
Went downstairs. I remember using the bathroom, coming back upstairs. And when I walked into the room, as soon as I walked into the room, one of the cars from the track, which FYI, I had taken the car off and put it in the center of the track. It wasn't even attached to it. Came shooting past me at eye level and hit the wall. Scared the bejeebers out of me. I ran downstairs, told my parents, who told me I was full of it. My mother, who is a believer, for years had, in the house we lived in after that, had seen people walk like at night, walk down the hallway towards my room, her father, my grandfather standing at the foot of her bed, excuse me, all kinds of things of this nature. So I've had this happening around me my whole life. I'm almost to the point I'm like, yeah, whatever, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have time for you at this point. But yeah, footy PJs with the zipper down the front, 100% America. Like I was down with the footy,
I
there's
miss
times they make adult versions of them, but
the same.
it's just not, it needs to at some point have some stain crusted into it that will never come out of something you ate early in the morning, like syrup that will never come out of that thing.
Yes.
Back when syrup was like straight up just sugar,
Mm-hmm.
colored water with sugar in it. But yeah, so I've experienced it. So that's why when I hear these things, I'm like, well, this all makes sense in my head. I've experienced it. What about, again, staying on the other side of the coin for a second here, folks that are like, somebody's like, my friends keep telling me I have a ghost. There ain't nothing in here. You're welcome to come look at it, but I ain't got time for this. Like, have you ever had that experience? And then you're like, well, look, this is what's going on. And then, trying to get them to understand, but they're just not buying it.
Yeah, I've had that. And, you've got those people that it doesn't matter what you do. They are not going to believe it until something literally walks up, jerks their butt out of the bed. And literally, like, that's what it's going to take before they're finally like, okay, well, I guess they can see the toaster slide across the counter. Oh, nope, the house just tilted. It's the foundation needs work.
You got to get that foundation fixed there.
Yeah.
Put that oil on
there. They're going to have to literally get, something physically happen to them before they're going to believe it. And what I have found in those cases is that literally it happens. Sometimes it happens in front of me and I have to stifle a laugh because it happened one time to this real jackass. He was just being kind of a jerk about it. We're showing him literal evidence of real good poltergeist activity. Of there's no way, that
right.
that these things are moving. And he was just kind of being ugly about things. Well, there's like, you guys did this or that, or there was no one in the home. Like I would set up equipment and leave so that there was no contamination. Just let it run all night long. Whatever was caught was caught. And he was just being a complete jerk about it. And something hit him in the back of the head. Almost like would smack somebody upside the back of the head. Something hit him so hard, you saw his head go forward like this. And he turned and he looked, and there's nobody within 10, 15 feet of this dude. And he's petrified. This look on his face, like he just saw God. And he's like, oh, okay. I was like, you might want to apologize. That might make things a little better.
Well, and now you bring up another thing, and I'm a believer in this. I've done it in every home that I've ever lived in. What's your thoughts on when you buy a home or move into a new apartment or whatever it is, having that initial one-on whatever conversation? I've always done it.
Yes. So I'm a big believer in everything has a spirit, and you have house spirits. You need to come in and say, this is who I am. This is my home. You are more than welcome to be here, but here's my ground rules. You have to be respectful, but you have to also say, you got to be respectful of me. Because you can't, it's just like people. You've got jerks on this side of the veil. You got jerks on that side of the veil. And no, it's not a demon, I don't think, waiting on the other side. They got better things to do than throw stuff at you in the middle of the night. But, you got Bubba over here that wants to be a jerk his whole life. He's going to do the same thing when he's dead.
He's still a jerk on the other side.
Yeah, nothing changes. But yeah, I'm a big believer in that. big believer in that. Like if you set your ground rules just like you would with any other person, you're usually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Diana said Jean got yoked out of a bed.
Out of her bed, yes.
Jean, you catching hell, ain't you? Husband doesn't believe you, and you got spirits yoking you out to bed. Maybe they wanted to go party, Jean. Think about that.
He's a believer now.
Oh, he's good now. He's good now.
Good now.
Hold on. And Amara says, my demons throw items at me at night. I scroll my phone too much. That might be kids, or are you married? Like if you're over there just scrolling, that might not be paranormal or supernatural. That might be a whole nother thing. I don't know you, Amara, but I'm just going to guess for a moment there.
Different kind of demon.
Whole different demon. Like you got kids. We call it. Some people refer to them as crotch goblins. So I mean, it could be kids. That's the same idea. But now, so when did we? Because I'm looking here, like haunted travel, paranormal, and all these different things. The Spirit Realm Network. So we have Paraflix out there. Now we have Spirit Realm Network. I don't know much about it. So what kind of a network is it?
So they do streaming services. So live streams, they do 24 on demand live. Everything is free. There are no subscriptions, no nothing. We do paranormal shows. We have weekly shows, live stream investigations. I'm actually going to the Hanover Tavern Paracon next week. Everything that we do is completely free to the public. You can get on there, watch it anytime. We have live static cams in the 1858 Garnett House. We have them at Rock Island YMCA. We just
what's the significance of those places? I don't know what.
Okay, so they are incredibly haunted, incredibly active. You can watch at Hinsdale where they have the static cams going all the time. So you can sit there and watch Hinsdale House. Yeah, you can sit there and watch static cams going all the time. And
is that the one in Massachusetts? Is Hinsdale House in Mass?
No, it's in New York.
Okay.
So you sit there and watch and catch evidence all the time. You've got chat boards you can get on there and talk to people, and you get to be the investigator. When we do our paranormal live stream events, we have live chat boards. So people can come in and chat with us, and they get to direct us with, hey, go over here. Look, I caught this. They get to interact with us the entire time.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and nothing costs them anything ever.
That's pretty cool. And Brett says, Lucky the dog puts him in the gas chamber. And I have no idea what that means. Let's say
the great farting dog.
Amara's available. That's all. No kids, no hubby. So we'll just say Amara's available. And no one's taking you anywhere, Nate. No one's taking you anywhere but to learn how to play fantasy football. So I'm always curious about this. So with these places like Amityville House, or there's one in Massachusetts. I don't remember the name of it. I just remember when I worked for Amtrak, it was one of the towns we went through, and they would say, like, somebody told me, oh, at one point was considered the most haunted place in America was this hotel in Massachusetts. It was right off the Amtrak line. There is. And I think every one of them's tagline is, we're the most haunted. Come see.
Oh, yeah.
We're the most haunted that has 2 doors. We're the most haunted that has 7 windows in our building. It's things like that. But what I always am curious of is, doesn't the other side to that, it dilutes what's going on? Like if I told you that, this is it, and every other day there's another investigator, there's another group, doesn't that almost kind of, in my mind, I would think that almost wears down what's ever in the house to where it's like, it doesn't want to deal with that, or it's too. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to? I'm probably sound like an idiot.
And so, in some locations, I feel like it does. It depends.
Omni Parker House.
I've noticed in some locations it seems to kind of dull the activity down, but in others it picks it up. It's almost like they really do enjoy um, pe- people coming in.
Feeding off
Um,
the energy.
yeah, and just having the interaction sometimes too. Just depends on, I guess, the type of people that are coming in, what they're
What do you mean?
doing.
What do you mean?
So if you have somebody coming in, and being disrespectful, or maybe they're coming in and they're asking the same 15 questions that the last 18, teams did, or if they come in and they're trying to do something different. I like to repurpose equipment because I'm a nurse. I don't make money. Like, so I like to do different things. I will go to the Dollar Tree and get a pack of white balloons and glow sticks, crack the glow stick, put it inside the white balloon, blow it up, put it on the floor. Okay, well, you've got something that something else can interact with, and you can see it very easily on camera. But it takes energy to move that. Go sit in a room, ask something to move that. Go
Pat
sit
said,
in a room.
Pat said, if anyone is here, make a noise, said by 10,000 investigators.
Go somewhere that's had, I've had really good results with things like that in an orphanage, somewhere that's had children, somewhere that's had, mentally disabled people, handicapped people. You have to think about where you're going and what kind of people were there. You have to do some digging into the history. If you just go in there, somebody comes in my house when I'm dead and gone and ask me, can you tell me your name? I will kick you down the stairs at 3:00 in the morning. Do not bother me with something stupid. Come on. Like, they're people. They're people. Treat them like people. Don't do something because you saw it on TV. Use your brain.
Amara, I don't know if asylums are the best, but we'll go with it. I know what you mean, but I'm not going to say they're the best. I'm not going to agree with that. But so, what about? Have you ever had one so far that you were like, "No, I'm not going in there. Just nope, not doing that."
I can't honestly know, because
No?
I'm one of those people. I'm like that. Everybody else will be like, "No, I'm not doing it." I'm like, "I'll go." I'm the bulldog that's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
So you're the girl in the movie when they're like, "There's something out there. I'll go look." No,
Pretty,
lock the door. Call the
pretty
police
much.
now.
Yeah, that's me.
We're not going out there.
Like, I'm the one that they're like, "Wait, where'd Candy go? Crap, she's out wandering around somewhere by herself. Shit, go find her." That's me.
I love this. Amara said if anybody uses a Ouija board to talk to her, she's going to ask them what's the Wi-Fi password. That's a good one. I like that one. And I'm curious, though, we were talking, you can see my equipment as we're having this conversation, things glitching and things acting silly here. Has more technology, since we are, you started off at a time where there was a little bit of technology.
Mhm.
There was, and when I say technology, the level that we have today, there was a little bit of that to today. Have you seen more or less activity? Because there is so much, everything's wired, everything's in the air around us today.
I, I've honestly seen some kind of lessened activity. I get a lot of activity from old school, basic, simple stuff. I
What do you
really do. So, using something simple, like cat balls, just the little motion sensor cat balls. Love them. The glow stick and the balloon thing. Very low tech items. I never go anywhere without a digital recorder. Like, I'm happy with a cheap, dollar flashlight and a digital recorder. I'm good. One of your best forms of equipment that you can ever take on an investigation is yourself.
I can get that. Pat wants to know, and look, folks, as we're going through this again, spiritrealm.net, supernatural sirens. Is there a time when that's going to be coming on? Because we're getting ready. We're close to closing the bar up here, folks. So if you got questions, now is the time to get them in. When is that going to be coming on?
We are currently filming. So we don't have an exact release date yet, but it will be early spring. So we are filming right now.
Pat wants to know, have you ever used a ghost box? I don't.
Yes. So you mean like a spirit box?
I've heard that term before.
Yep. Spirit box, ghost box are all the same. But yes, absolutely. So any kind of hacked radio, anything that's a white noise generator, white noise device, works. There's tons of apps out there. Um, they all essentially work on the same kind of premise. Anything that's going to give you a white noise. Theory is basically, it can use that energy to run a word through it. Does it work? We don't know. We don't have all those answers, but do we know that it doesn't? No.
Don't know either direction with it.
Nope.
Kim says some of the older spirits aren't familiar with new technology and probably distrust it.
Yep.
I'm not going to mess with that newfangled stuff. Just give me a good old fashioned radio. See?
Yeah.
Pat says AM receivers, supposedly they can talk through. And all right, got to get to Nate's most important question. We ask this every episode in one way, shape, or another. Do you have a go-to meal after an investigation?
Sleep. Sleep.
You don't have like the one comforting meal that you're like, I need to rejuvenate myself.
Let's see. Honestly, so the Sour Patch, the octopus things, I have to have those.
Sour Patch octopus. I don't even know.
So I don't like the worms. Okay. I don't like any of it has to be those stupid little octopus things. And the Dollar General is the only place that carries them.
I've never seen that. Jean's laughing at you. Mara said Red Bull and beef sticks.
That's pre-investigation.
That's getting your juice going. So that's just too funny to me. Anything. So I want to kind of stay with spiritrealm.net for a moment, because that be, I don't know how long that one's actually been around for, but any other, because you got all these different teams, any other shows that are on there or things that people can expect that maybe it's exclusive to it or unique beyond, the places that you were talking about?
So we actually have Chasing Paranormal is dropping their brand new series. It's coming out, I believe, end of this month. That's getting ready to drop. So it's a amazing duo. They have their Edinburgh Manor episode is getting ready to drop end of this month. Fabulous. They've done the Palmer House twice now. Yes.
So I actually had my palm read at the Palmer House before.
Oh, very nice.
Long ago. And if you've never been to the Palmer House, it's pretty good food too.
Yeah. They've they did Edinburgh Manor. Amazing people. There's a lot of things I can't say yet of the new shows that are coming out. I wish I could. But we have literally the most phenomenal lineup that is getting ready to drop for this year. We are on Facebook. We have a website. We have YouTube. Everything is 100% free. If you miss a show, it is on demand. If you go to the Spirit Realm Network, everything is on my page. So if you just go to Candi Howard on Facebook, everything's there. It's a quick link, takes you right to it. Or you can just go to the Spirit Realm Network on Facebook and everything is right there for you. It's completely free, on demand, 24 hours a day. We've got merch. We have our own energy drinks and they're actually really good.
I don't even want to know, please tell, what is the name of the Paranormal Investigative Channel's energy drink?
It's Spirit Realm Energy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like something super creative, like a Boo Me Up or something like that, or
Scotty. No,
it's the Boo Me Up pickup.
Boo Me Up pickup. Here for the booze, man.
You could have you could go to Booberry, classic.
You could.
Pat says Casper juice. I love that.
Casper juice.
Ooh. You could go with there's got to be some good ones in there that are inappropriate, but
oh yeah.
But Brett wants to know: do you have a favorite location and why?
Oh man,
one that you've done where you're like, this was the one.
Ugh, I hate this question because it's hard.
Well, here's one. Here, I will rephrase it. Is there one that sticks with you more than others?
Okay, so I will say the one that I've had my most incredible experience at would be West Virginia State Penitentiary.
Oh,
I had an experience there unlike anything I've ever had, and I still cannot quite figure out exactly what it is that I saw.
are you dating a ghost now?
No,
Okay,
no,
just double checking.
no, not quite, not quite like full on like anything like that. But it was interesting what I saw, and it was one of those experiences that you're almost like, was I freaking abducted or something? Like it was one of those kind of, you almost feel like you disappear for a minute. There was no noise in the room, even though there were 3 other investigators there. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 other investigators in the room. And it was just me and whatever this thing was. And then come to find out, a little bit later, I was talking to one of the tour guides as we were leaving. I told him what I saw, my experience, and one of the ladies that's there had seen this very same entity, it's the black-eyed little girl, in the same spot, mind you, where the corner of the old basement comes in like this and meets the new basement. It's the only thing left of the old basement. She saw her in the very same spot in the basement below where I saw her up top at the end of Shadow.
Nope.
And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. All right. And it's one of those you can't quite wrap your head around.
Well, it's one of those like, why on God's green earth was there a black-eyed child inside of a penitentiary? Yeah.
They used to have kids there. I found that out.
In the penitentiary?
When it was first built, yes, they had orphans there.
Well, that makes sense.
On that one side.
Oh,
right where that corner meets, that was the very last piece of the original basement part of the original part of the penitentiary.
We used to do some wild stuff back in the day, didn't we?
Yeah.
Amara said kids, yes, kids used to be there, orphans. Same thing you said. I mean, we did some wild things back in the day. Like, this makes sense. Just add orphans to the state penitentiary.
I mean,
they're going to be here anyway, so why not just start now?
A little sprinkle of children never hurt anybody till they get black eyes and they start doing weird shit.
Yeah, no, makes perfect sense. And Nate's trying to get Brett to go somewhere with him. No one's going anywhere with you, Nate. No one's taking you anywhere. No one, not a single person. So look, folks, we're getting ready to close things up in just a moment here. If you have any last minute questions for Candi, please let me know. I will not play her song again, but she does have her own theme song now. She could be my first guest that has her own theme, her own intro theme music that I ever created, because I sang that song to myself all day long as I was thinking about Candy's going to be on there. So I kept going, Candi, Candi, Candi. Amara wants to go to Pennhurst. Is that Eastern State Penitentiary? Is that Pennhurst?
No, Pennhurst State School. That's where they had all the mentally incapable children and adults, and they shut it down in Pennsylvania.
You said mentally incapable, so I just figured teenagers in general.
Yeah, no, this was they finally shut it down back in the 80s.
Like, everybody's like chiming in. Jennifer wants to go to Waverly Hill.
Yeah, Waverly Hill's overly hyped, honestly.
Pat says, haven't been on too long, but have you been anywhere cool overseas? Have you ever gone out of the country and done this?
Not yet. I was actually supposed to go to Lep Castle this past month with my friend Jenny Sullivan, and I wasn't able to get over there. So we're supposed to actually go in August. So with Emerald Isle Paranormal.
So it's everywhere. I would think like places like I was just talking to my wife about this, that a lot of these older cities, when you go over to Europe, if you've never been, folks, you instantaneously realize everything here is new compared
Yeah.
to what's over there. When I worked for Amtrak, I'll never forget how many we had passengers, and ones from England or the British Isles in general would always comment how everything here is stick built.
Mm-hmm.
And there it's really not. It's rarer to see stick built homes where we
Mm-hmm.
have everything stick built here. So I could see that being a lot of fun. Follow in the Ripper's footsteps. Yeah, Jack the Ripper. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
tours
that's
would be fun.
an interesting tour.
Well, look, folks, we're getting ready to close up the bar here. As I always say every time, if you're finding Candi through me or me through Candi, we said at the beginning, make sure you're giving those likes, those shares, those follows. As cliche as it sounds, go see what she's got going over at spiritrealm.net. As she said, it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, it's everywhere. Make sure you're going and giving that, taking the time to going over to Apple or Spotify for us and giving that 5-star, following up each of our episodes means a ton to me. It's how we all get found out. That's how Spirit Realm Network jumps in popularity. You share it, the algorithm figures it out. It tells everybody else what's going on and what's happening. If you enjoyed this one, make sure you join us next week. And I'll make sure I got all this right here. We have Michelle J. Lamont. Her story is from orphanage. Look, wonder, could be. I doubt it. But orphanage to Oprah, the omnipresent manifestation prodigy. So she really was, her journey was one from an orphanage to being involved with Oprah. Young age, she had that ability and talent to kind of like manifest her dreams. Like, hey, if I'm going to do this, put it out there into the ether and make it happen. And she's really hit the pinnacle. She's had Oprah, and now she's going to be on the Above the Bar podcast. You have to be able to take yourself to the next level, and that is the next level beyond Oprah. That being said, I've never brought young people to see Jeffrey Epstein or Jeffrey. What is that name? The one that's in jail right now. I can't think of his name. Not Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, Epstein's dead, but his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an investigation. That house has got to be haunted on that island.
Oh yeah. No,
There is some kind of bad mojo happening there. Anywhere else where I know you said you got some investigations, you're doing some tapings and everything. Anything live going on where people could, besides online, if they wanted to contact you and say, "Hey, Candi, come investigate my doghouse," or whatever it is that they've.
Yeah. Just shoot me, message me directly on Facebook. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me, just straight through my Facebook page. I'll go anywhere. I travel anywhere, honestly. It's one of my favorite things to do, but we will be going live from the Hanover Tavern Paracon. Yeah. And I think we've got at least 3 investigations that we'll be going live from while we're there too. So that's the 19th and 20th of this month.
Nope, not me, folks. You can keep every bit of that. So now, as we talk about, and we talked about this before the show started, and don't log off right after. We got to talk for just a moment afterwards. This is like episode 212 or 213, and I know you have binged them all, Candi. All your followers, you were sharing. You were like, you got to binge this. You should be watching all these things that are going on. And since you know that, you know what's about to come next, which is the guest always gets the final word. So, Candi, what is the final word?
Go forth and prosper.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in. This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.